Biden actually has a plan for that. According to the report, the Biden administration is flying illegal immigrants, this is including minors, by the way, out of Texas to receive abortions in states around the country. I mean, there are so many layers to this. But joining us now with reaction to all of it is retired pediatric neurosurgeon, former HUD secretary, and the founder of the American Cornerstone Institute, Dr. Ben Carson. Dr. Carson, welcome back to the show, sir. I do want to say congratulations on your new cartoon series, Little Patriots. But first, I want to get your reaction to Biden's executive order today on women's so-called reproductive rights. The Supreme Court sent this decision back down to the states so that the people could decide. We know that. But what precedent does this executive order set? Biden is comparing this to the Department of Justice and what they did under civil rights and human rights.
It's pretty amazing. You know, the left is blaming the Supreme Court and accusing them of usurping power, of taking rights away from people, when all they've done is restore things to the natural order. The way our country was designed is that the major decisions, particularly life involving, would be at the hands of the people and their elected representatives. And they simply, and I think that's the message that needs to keep being pounded home, because the left is distorting this. The media, of course, is right in the bandwagon with them. And I think a lot of people are getting the wrong impression. It is a wonderful thing if you have the ability, of which side you're on, to go to your elected representative and to your fellow citizens and make your case. That's why this is supposed to be of, for, and by the people, not of, for, and by the government.
Exactly. You know, we just mentioned the Biden administration is flying these migrants detained in Texas to other states for abortion services, right? i.e., taxpayers are going to be paying for this. I would assume that this is a violation of the Hyde Amendment because we're using taxpayer funds for abortion services, especially when it comes to non-citizens. Would you read it the same way?
Of course it is. I mean, that was the reason that the Hyde Amendment was put forth. And of course, as a senator, Biden was completely behind the Hyde Amendment. And even in cases of incest or rape. So talk about a 180-degree flip. He has done that. But, you know, is it really fair to the American citizens to have to take on the burden when they've already got so many burdens of their own, particularly financial burdens with the inflation roaring and with the economy going south, with people's 401ks going south? Why are we now picking up more debt? And what's very interesting is the Biden administration now wants to bring a lawsuit against Texas and against the governor there for trying to intervene and stop all of these people coming in illegally. And it tells you exactly what you need to know, and that is that this is all intentional and planned on their behalf.
Well, speaking of immigration, another top border story today that you'll remember, the Border Patrol agents who were demonized in the media for allegedly whipping these Haitian migrants and were then cleared of legal wrongdoing last month. Well, earlier today, CBP wrapped up their investigation. Here's what they had to say.
The board proposed specific disciplinary actions for 4 of the CBP personnel involved. OPR found no evidence Border Patrol agents involved in this incident struck any person with their reins intentionally or otherwise.
Okay, so when all this happened, President Biden said that these Border Patrol agents will pay and there will be consequences. Do you think that Biden's comments put pressure on the CBP to find some kind of wrongdoing here?
Well, of course they did. And that's the reason that a wise president doesn't weigh in on these kinds of issues until an appropriate investigation has been done. And we certainly have not seen that kind of restraint exercise. And all it's doing is inflaming the situation, bringing people further apart. Biden promised that he was going to bring people together. They're not coming together except in their dislike for him. Maybe that's what he meant.
You know, before we go, I know you had an exciting day yesterday. You've launched another project called Little Patriots. It's a pro-American learning program for children, and a new animated show kicked off yesterday called Star Spangled Adventures. Tell us a little bit about it, why you did it, and where we can find it.
Well, of course, we did it because we noticed the tremendous amount of indoctrination that was taking place, particularly in the public schools, but in many private schools as well. And if you really want to change a country, you get to their young people and you indoctrinate them. And we've known that for a long time. Even our enemies have known that. And that's what they're trying to do. So we hired some tremendous animators from places like Disney and Pixar and ABC Kids, the ones that were not woke, by the way, and put together these beautiful animations that tell the real history of America. No politics involved, just the real history. And there are lessons that are associated with each one of the programs. They'll be coming out on a monthly basis. And best of all, it's absolutely free of charge because we have underwriters who've underwritten the whole thing. And we also have new books that are coming out, a new book that came out this week, Red, White, and Blue, Our Flag Matters to Me and You. And it explains to little children the reason that we salute the flag and we stand for it.
Where can we find it?
And you can go to littlepatriotslearning.com. And all the proceeds from the book, by the way, go right back into the program so that we can continue to underwrite it.
Dr. Ben Carson, always great to get your take and see all the great work you're doing. So thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend, sir.
Thanks to both of you, the same.